Coming to you from their living rooms, it's the Day After Show with Danielle Staub and Yavet.
I just can't help myself. Pay attention, please. Hey everyone, I'm going to give you a few minutes to start coming in. It is time for the Day After Show, and I literally have some unpacking to do. So let's see as everyone's coming in. Don't hesitate letting me know what you guys think of last night's episode or any of the points that I make. If you feel the same, please let us know. I'm curious to see if you're viewing the episodes a little bit differently now that I've been adding my unpacking and going through the motions with with the entire season and the cast. I mean, it's been cathartic for me, to be honest with you. Very healing. To be honest with you, the things that bothered me from not being heard in the beginning were intense. I didn't even realize it would be like that. And then all of a sudden, I started to find a little more balance. It doesn't mean that there's still not moments where I just want to rip them all a fresh one, but I'm finding I feel like I grew out of them a long time ago, and I should have never given them any other part of me. They didn't deserve it. And probably Margaret wouldn't have survived the show, and things would have gone differently because I would have never actually met her, which would have been wonderful. So let me see. What do we have going on here? The Ask Us, yes. We are going to unpack that legitimately because I feel like there was a little bit of shaming going on as well towards the gay community when he had to reiterate that, you know, he likes women. I don't know what that means. Who is he letting... who is he trying to convince himself? I mean, believe me, the gay community doesn't want him. And I'm going to speak for me and my part in it, but yeah, I don't know anybody that would want him around. He's just so fake, you know. Anyway, we're going to wait for Yavet to come in. I still want to hear, you know, your feedback on your thoughts mainly on what you think about some of the points that I was making. I mean, wait, let me just back up a minute because I'll get to that when Yvette comes in. But I have to say, like, you can see the setup of the scene. Maybe I should wait for Yvette because I want to talk about the country club scene. And then I'll repeat myself when Yvette comes on. So we'll just wait. Let's see, maybe I need to ask him to come in. I always forget that part. Are you guys tuning in to my podcast? I renamed it Danielle Staub. Absolutely. It's just easier to find me that way. And please, if you haven't, please do so. And on Monday, there's a guest on there that's an attorney, and he's talking about the real criminals of the Real Housewives. So that's my episode, and I don't want you to miss it. So Ron Richards is the attorney that I have on. He's very, very outspoken on Twitter, and he's literally an official. And he has good cause to be saying the things he's saying, and it's educated. And please tune in. And that's Danielle Staub, absolutely, on my podcast. So let me see. There's Yvette. Come back here. Oh, no, there's too many people in there with you, Yvette. Sorry. I just about brought you all. I don't think there would be enough room for all of our faces. Hold on, sweeties. Here we go. No. There. No. Did I do it wrong again? Who is on MDLL? I don't understand. Oh. Okay. No. Let's see. How do I get to you? There it is. Okay. That one was right. I think I
Hello, gorgeous.
before. Sorry, honey.
It's all good. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm shiny today. Oh
What's
my
the
God.
behind you?
That's just some art.
It's great. I want to see if I could switch. I notice my eyes close a lot because I'm looking down on my screen at you.
Oh, like for you to be on top, you mean?
Yeah, let me try
I mean
some.
on bottom.
Yeah. No, that's not right. I just turned my camera around like 3 times now. Let's see. That's the Lumi. What about that? That doesn't do it. If anyone knows how to make, I think it's because I connected it. It's probably just me.
Probably.
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
you
no.
guys could suggest to me in my inbox, if anybody sees it, knows what I'm talking about, trying to switch our position. When I'm live, I see me on top and him on bottom. So I'm looking down at Yvette and my eyes look a little bit closed every time I'm on the videos. And now I see why.
You look so pretty.
What, honey?
You look so pretty.
Well, thank you.
Your skin looks amazing.
Thank you. I've been getting a lot of that. I've been using a regime of products
That's
and
the only way, right?
care of my skin. I can't stand having makeup on or anything like that any longer than I have to. So I wash, I scrub, and a lot of lotions, and they're all different and they all have a meaning for and a purpose for them. Can no longer get away with just one lotion for this face. But, I'm still waiting to see if, when I grow up, I'm going to need 14 plastic surgeries like Melissa Gorga.
I think you'll be fine. You look great. You look amazing.
Already way ahead of me. I wouldn't even know.
Cheers to you.
I'm drinking agua because
Good.
podcasting all day and I don't want to mess up my train of thought because one sip of wine can send me.
That's okay. It's good to be hydrated.
Salute, honey. Yeah, stay hydrated, everyone. Everyone drink with us. We're going to do a drinking game at the reunion.
Oh my God, that's going to be so fun. I can only imagine.
Oh, I'm going to make up some really cute rules because I don't know their keywords.
Literally.
They'll say something that'll become annoying to everyone then after that, which is great.
Yeah, so tell me, what did you think of...
Larry at their fingertips already. So, okay, let's do this. So, I want to...
What did you think? What did you think of last night's episode?
I just couldn't wait for it to be over.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy... I don't enjoy watching this. I didn't enjoy being around them, and I enjoy even less watching them because it's just proving me right. But I feel like, and I was saying to everybody before you came on, that I feel like I've been like healing through this, like
sure,
because I'm getting to speak to my viewers, the fans, the audience, and nobody else could let me. And you can't argue; they wouldn't let me speak. Like there was no speaking in it, and they knew that if I did get that little tiny window, I'd get right in there. I was like Roadrunner. I just hijacked that shit. And I talk louder than everybody, which became impossible. And it was really hard to do in your 50s, In my 40s, I was like, fuck them. I got this,
I just feel like it's probably like they really control your image and how you're portrayed in a sense.
They have. For many years, they've manipulated and had complete control over everyone's perception of me. Yeah, I mean, that's part of me, but Jesus, that's exhausting. I mean, they are like literally starting to show their true colors. I'm pointing at the TV like I'm getting mad at it. I know it's a lot of people say, a lot of the viewers will say, oh my God, in the original seasons, I just wanted to I wanted to break my TV. Like I wanted to jump in the TV and come defend you because it was me against all of them.
Yeah.
And it turned out the same way in the end. Like Tracy just couldn't wait until the producers could tell her, listen, you're done sharing the limelight with Danielle. She'll no longer take it from you because you'll be the one walking in the room first that everybody's waiting for. But you're going to have to work now, Teresa. If they had told her she's going to have to work for it, she might have thought twice about it. Because I don't think this whole dating thing is looking good. It's not a good look on her. She's dressing like a hoochie mama, and I'm going to judge because she judged me. I'm not shaming anybody, but I'm telling you right now, paybacks are a real bitch. And they me for no reason other than the fact that I enjoyed my own sensuality, you know? But I didn't talk about, banging somebody in a bathroom. I had sex with my husband in the bathroom. And that was because the storyline was so fucking boring that day that the producers were like, we're sweating in here. It's a fake pizzeria. We're never opening. This is a restaurant. Just go have sex in the bathroom or say you had sex in the bathroom. Can we go home then? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll do that.
I just think it's really funny as time has gone on, a lot of the things that you were shamed for, it's almost like every episode.
My exact words were, I asked permission. And those were Melissa's exact words too. I asked permission. So they just copy everything. Do they forget?
But they shamed you. They shamed you for the things that you did.
Big time. Big time.
Yet they go on and do the same.
I wasn't shaming them for committing fraud. I don't know, 42 counts of it. Or money from your best friend so you can buy a house to look like you belong on TV. Remember, Margaret Josephs, Erica Jane is now living in an apartment, and so is her husband very soon. Or he's going to go into an old folks home, because that's what you get when you take what's not yours. You've had a lot of cards just slide right by, and this one's going to hit you. I got a good feeling about this. This is when you're going to draw the wrong card. So let's unpack a little bit.
Absolutely. We have a guest.
Oh my God, little baby. Oh. Can he co-host with me?
I think he would be a much cuter co-host.
So cute. Don't you that way.
Okay, so just going off of,
I'll let you dive in.
Sure.
I have a problem with the plunging neckline when it's not worn properly.
There's definitely some issues there with how to dress appropriately. And I'm not even thinking of like skin and stuff, just the taste is very questionable when I see these outfits.
The amount of money that you're going to spend on your wardrobe, just make something flattering for your own body. Not everybody the same something, but the thing with Margaret is she really loves that look, and she thinks that's when she's slaying it.
Yeah, you're right. She's very consistent about what she's wearing.
She's a part of the fashion industry, she claims. I gotta say,
it's just very basic.
You were a throwback, because like nobody our age with those kind of whatever that is going on there is going to expose all of that and pay hundreds of dollars for it. We're not going to do it. Make it more like even toned for everybody.
I mean, I haven't even really taken a look at her line, nor I probably ever will.
She wouldn't be caught dead in her line.
Yeah.
At my wedding, there was a woman coming out. I was in my gown after I took the mile-long walk. I fucking killed that dress too, man.
Yeah, you looked hot.
Gorgeous. Yes, that was some gown. Anyway, I'm standing waiting for them to pull up and blah, blah, blah. And Margaret goes, oh my God, hide me, hide me, hide me. And I go, yeah, you're on your own. I go, who am I hiding you from? She goes, oh, well, those two women right there are wearing my Margaret Joseph's, whatever that line was that she stole the logo to. And shame on you. Like, why aren't you proud of that? Why aren't you thanking them? Like,
they're supporting her.
Seriously. And
That's
she's
so
like,
weird.
I don't wear those things, so I wouldn't want them to know it's me. And I was like, oh God, this is disgusting. Everything was just way over the top. So here we go. Let's go.
So last night was definitely the night that I wrote the least amount of notes, because I feel like I'm starting to just kind of sense a pattern. Like there's this storyline that usually isn't very interesting, and sometimes it isn't even real, and then they switch very quickly. So no one's talking about the Evan and rumor anymore. Everything has shifted over to now Teresa's love life. Apparently now this is the very interesting thing. I just feel like that's everyone. I'm sure Teresa knew that by the time the show would come out, everyone would already know what her love life was like. So the timing of everything to make a storyline, I just don't get how people are entertained. Like, we already know you were dating this man.
Here's the thing about Teresa, and I'll unpack that for you. Teresa would rather not have anybody in the public see him. That way she can do whatever she wants to and keep slipping by, because she's forced into this because she has to have a storyline. She's got no storyline this season. If anyone knows what her storyline is, please let me know, because what episode
is nothing new.
What episode
That's for sure. I think this is episode 10 or 11.
Okay, so I'm hearing a rumor that there's only 13 episodes, which would make sense because they just filmed the reunion.
Right.
So boring as fuck. I mean, mine were very long seasons, but anyway.
I
So
was gonna say some of the old seasons had way more episodes, so
yeah,
it doesn't look like they have a lot of material.
16 episodes, something like that. But
Yeah,
I mean, our original season was like a pilot. Like we went through it so quickly and they were like, oh, damn, that wasn't enough. But I was like, wow, that was too easy. I should have known I'm going to get beaten up for months in a row. But Teresa wants this public lifestyle, but she's never been single. And her really shaming me for being newly divorced instead of supporting a mother of two very young daughters who just happened to be in the same workplace as you. She shamed the fuck out of me and set me on these dates with, like, what she thought of me was the guy that you guys saw me with, and I'm not going to bring up his name. There was no way that that was up to par for me. You know,
right.
it wasn't. Like, and he was 27 years old, and that really put a bad taste in my mouth. That I didn't realize. I was just trying to be nice and not embarrass her or him. But then I find out, like, after I watched the season,
I have to see that.
To make a joke out of me. So
Wait.
That's the way you support your friends.
So it was a setup. I have to see that season.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too. Teresa was not living in a house. She was living someplace where they wouldn't even film. You know,
that's right. That's right. Okay.
Where she lived, and
interesting.
A lot of you know where that is. So yeah, like she didn't film in her house once until she's actually what was it called? Her housewarming party was at Lunello's, where the table flip was.
Right. Which is really far. She doesn't even live near that, does she? Or did she?
You never have a housewarming party. I've Bill told me you have a housewarming party at the house.
That's very interesting.
So
I mean,
show your friends what you've done, what you built, you know, your life. You welcome them in, and you make a big deal. I've thrown a number of them.
Yeah.
You know? And I know how to throw those lavish parties. I didn't need anyone to teach me when I got to my job. I knew what my job, and I knew that was really mine, and that's what made me so organic. They didn't have that lifestyle.
Right.
Mine, I lost everything being on that show, except for, you know, my kids. I even in the end lost my sanity for a while because I had a nervous breakdown. It's legit truth, and I don't care what anybody wants to say about that. But if you make fun of me, then you're just making fun of yourself, because that speaks more about you than me. I'm at least owning up to my problems.
Definitely.
And I would have rather have not had that happen. So Teresa stay private in public, but yet she wants everybody to know that she's in the room. So whoever you're going to be with, Teresa, let me just say this. Said it again. I'm going to say it again. You should have treated me better, because payback's a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here every step of the way commentating it. And I'm also still inviting on to both of my platforms, both of my shows, this Vanessa girl who's the ex. She's a therapist, and she's the ex-girlfriend of the current boyfriend of Teresa's. And she is very
hot takes
outspoken about his narcissism, which is very ironic because it's pretty parallel with what Marty was. And when I called him a narcissist, I knew that was the nerve that I hit, and our marriage was over after that, because he is.
Yeah. I shouldn't speak on it because I'm judging based off of just pure like looks. But I mean, if someone showed me a picture of that man and was like, this man's a narcissist, like, I mean, is anybody going to doubt that? He's like a very pretty older man who obviously cares a lot about his image, which I feel like a lot of people do. But I don't know, there's definitely something there that I'm not.
My ex or Teresa's?
Teresa's current man. He's got like a whole Instagram aesthetic. So see, this is the thing. His face, and just judging by his girlfriend, he definitely has to be a man who's like in his 50s, right? Or something like that at least. But he's like, and it doesn't surprise me.
Plus, he bought a house. Teresa can't even buy a house. Like, all these
but just judging off of his Instagram, he's very young and youthful in what he posts and stuff.
40s, maybe mid to late 40s. I just think, like, it's okay that she's looking for a guy that's super rich and will take care of her and blah, blah, blah. But the minute I mentioned something about a man's quality that I already had, I lived that life. Like that was my life before they all got in there and tried to make it look like something else. But I was so harshly judged for knowing what I want in a man. So turnabout's fair play, Teresa. Take that slap right in the face, bitch.
Well, the funny thing is that if you watch the show for long enough, you notice more than one pattern. That's for sure, of things just kind of repeating and things happening again in just like a different light.
Like that scene who came in and Margaret was like, yeah, right in her face. She got, I think she said something about Joey being the person that said you're in love with him. Like,
okay,
let's unpack.
but the pattern repeats based off of what you said at the very beginning of the season. How you literally said how Joe Benigno and Margaret had pillow talk and they catch up on all the drama. And it's so funny because every episode we've seen another layer of that, including last night. As soon as Joe found out about the Teresa boyfriend, he couldn't wait to get to Margaret to tell her. And then it's just so funny. And then Margaret brings it up at the party. It's a pattern. And it's funny because I'll admit.
But she doesn't bring it up. She pushes it right into the face of whoever she wants to.
Yeah.
And okay, now I'm done. And she said those exact words. She was like,
right.
Cause problems. I got to take a break for a second. Listen,
Sure.
You're on here. This is my show. You want to really take it down a couple notches. I will never call you out or give you credit for even bothering me. But if I see that again, I will not only block you, but I'll report your ass. And when a verified account reports somebody, you can guarantee you're going to be taken down and you're going to have to open up more fake accounts. Okay, motherfucker? Get off the fucking page.
That's incredible.
You don't like me? Stop watching me. Okay.
There's definitely something to say.
Like, oh, please pay attention to me. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like that's a reoccurring theme of the show. And then these men cannot get out of that frat boy kind of lifestyle. The way they're acting is so weird.
That's not frat boy. My daughter just graduated college, the second one to just graduate college. If anyone knows about frats and fraternities and sororities, my daughter and her boyfriend of 4 years, they were both in brother and sister sorority and fraternities. That's not what they behave like. These boys have everything over them, and they weren't even 20 when they started college, you know? They're young men. They're developed. And here's a point. I said it on the live last night. I'm like, you watch. Evan walked onto that into that course like, yeah, I do this all the time. His clothing, right? Those are golf pants. It's a golf shirt, golf hat. He's got all the golf gear going on.
He looked like a snack.
He knows how to golf. So you got then Joe Benigno with his Hard Rock t-shirt on. You would never wear that to a country club. You're just not allowed.
I think he's always wearing the same thing.
And he's carrying it like a duffel bag. Like this. Now, I understand why Joe Gorga, even though he doesn't know how to carry it either, he needed to carry it differently because the bag was taller than him.
I was gonna say it was his whole body.
It was taller than him, and then you didn't see either one of them pick up an iron, or they didn't even know which one to pull out of the bag. I know more about golf than them only because I was a member at a country club and I loved it for years. But
watching Joe Benigno hit a ball.
What's that, honey?
Watching Joe Benigno try to hit that ball was
They're just
I don't even know what that was.
Okay, and then we're not going to stop there. We got Frank and Joey Gorga, having an intimate butt kiss moment that, I mean, come on now. Nobody really needs that. And then you have to defend it by reiterating, I like women though. Who are you trying to convince?
I mean, I think we all knew that he was just being weird and they were all being weird.
On the show in his first episode, he was cross-dressing and wearing heels.
I didn't know that. I know
more.
But I'm not surprised.
They'll do anything for attention. They're real fame whores, these people.
When I saw them at this country club, I got this feeling that is another feeling that I get a lot of times watching the show. And and this isn't to sound ageist, but I do feel like
Country club would allow that. You're right, sweet pea. No
they're
country.
not acting their age. A lot of the people on these shows. It's
They're in
weird.
their 30s, almost 50s. I mean, Frank Catania was an attorney until he decided to take the money in escrow from his client and buy Dolores a way to stay on the show. Bought her 2 gyms, and he got to
Right.
So yeah, he's got to live there. He's got no other job. He gave it all to her, and you know what? Okay, good for you. You got 2 men taking care of you. Anybody that says I shouldn't desire a man to take care of me and to be with me that way, you're wrong. Because I have honesty to bring to the table as well. And I would never take money that didn't belong to me in order to make myself relevant.
To make yourself, appear as something else.
What you say or do, I never got fired. I walked away from this show twice. Not once, but twice. And guess what? Nobody's ever done that before. So go me.
Yeah. I mean, and what I found interesting was Frank was actually, I think, the original person that asked Joe about Teresa's new boyfriend, but then it was Joe Benigno that was the one that spread it to Margaret right away. And then how do you feel about, I felt like, actually, before I even get to that, there was a lot of comments that were very strange at this party that Michelle had, which I couldn't even tell you what the party was for. Why was Michelle having a party? I don't even know, but she was having a party, and I remember there's this clip that someone even sent to me.
I'll unpack it for you in a minute, but go ahead.
The one about Margaret, she mentioned, I don't even know what they were talking about, but she mentioned that she had to shower, or Joe Benigno had to shower because they had just had sex and he didn't want his wife to smell her or something like that.
You know what? Now, I'm sorry. If anybody didn't despise her as a human being and as my gender, I'm ashamed. I'm totally ashamed. I'm so glad she's not Italian, but I had to deal with the rest of them pretending all Italians are like that. Italian too. And I wouldn't have ever hung out with them had I not done a TV show with them. They were the people that catered my parties, and that's legitimately the truth. But no, I didn't even let them do that. So anyway, back to this. Yeah, that's why Carol and Manzo hated me. We never liked their food. They never passed the taste test.
Well, I just think that it's funny that Margaret like judged you and shamed you and slut shamed you, but now she's got a totally different vibe this season.
And then you'll remember, like, in the beginning, and I would laugh it off, but I thought it was pretty disgusting. So when someone asked me, who do you think has BO? I said, almost definitely Margaret. I've been standing next to her. You know, I know, and she'll say things like, I washed my puss in my pits. That's what she always says. And she talks about her puss a lot. And I don't call it that. I'm just repeating what she said.
No, it's okay.
And I don't think that when you only have time to wash I call them privates. I don't know that I've ever not had time unless I was stranded on an island someplace and there were no running water. But I think that show's called Survivor. For sure. So yeah, I don't see her making it on there. So there's no excuse. You have running water. You have multiple showers. Take a shower.
I don't even know why she brought that up, but she was proud of it. Or she thought it was funny. There was like a high five moment.
Story about, her encounter with her boss. She should have been happy he was attracted to her. She didn't have to go upstairs. Then when she got upstairs, she didn't have to say yes, and she didn't have to go through with it. She had plenty of opportunity to rethink it, but she wasn't going to make it in the business unless she fucked him, and that's why she did it. And she told the story completely differently. When she told
She told multiple versions of it, for sure.
That was real truth. She was kind of like, yeah, well, he wanted to have sex with me and I did. So I did. That was, as a matter of fact. And then she reads it out of the book, and I still don't see why everyone got emotional. I didn't hear anything but her taking stabs or jabs at his privates being pressed against her. She didn't. There's
a very strange voice, it seems, that the book is written in, which is like, it's just like so many layers to it. Because one, we know for a fact that Margaret didn't 100% write her own book, right? She has her ghostwriter, like a lot of people do. We even saw it on the show, the lady coming on and interviewing her.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was reading her passage from her book, what was supposed to be a very tender and sensitive subject, at least by the way she was
Sorry.
trying to make it seem, sounded very like snarky and like sarcastic. It was very cheeky the way that she wrote it, which is so weird because she didn't write it like that, but she must have communicated to someone, hey, I want to tell this story, and this is the voice I want to tell it in.
Right.
So all of it is very strange.
Like rehearsed. It just sounded like something she was trying to make like humorous and making fun of it. So how are we supposed to take it seriously when you're calling his privates a name? It's not necessary. You should have said, if it was painful, listen, I've been in pain most of my life, and I've been raped, and I've had, someone's groin uninvitedly pressed against me. My normal reaction is I press away real hard. I mean, that's a hard no, and I'm out of there.
Right. I mean, I'm not judging if she was in the situation and then she felt like she said no. I'm just not, which I don't care, but I'm not convinced that that was what happened just because she said it so many different ways, I felt.
Right. It's just, if you're going to tell a story and it's not truthful, you got to be able to remember your line, Margaret.
Right. Be consistent, or at least like be consistent about the angle that you're coming from. Like, why did you tell that story?
She was Me Too movement, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, but it's not a Me Too moment. I didn't feel upset or threatened or scared.
To me, she wants the benefits that will, this is fucked up to say, I'm sorry I said it that way, but the clout that would come with being part of a Me Too movement without receiving repercussions.
Of the Me Too movement.
She wants empathy of the Me Too movement, but she doesn't want to get called out.
Yeah, she doesn't want to have to tell the story because she can't remember it. It's a lie. I could tell my story frontwards, backwards, inside out, upside down, and every way I look at it, anyone who knows the story and still would use that name to try and hurt me, it's like you're, raping me all over again. People that I don't know, it doesn't affect me. Margaret doing that, regurgitating the past that I was a warrior. I had to get through that. Without a mom and a dad. I would have loved to have had a mom that was out drinking, but at least was there. I would have loved to have had that. I took care of my mom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk poorly about my mother, but there's no reason for her to be seeking the empathy of people that have been damaged and then further damaging someone that's gone through it, and then try to claim you're a part of it, but maybe not a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Removed. No.
She definitely looks like it's weird because, and I don't want to be like so much on top of her, but I mean, she's the one that's like doing all this on the show, and it's the only storyline I can like follow. But even with the way she handles her relationship with her mom, which I'm not questioning, whatever, it's her prerogative to say that her mom wasn't good. But it's very weird to see a person of privilege on television who's not really suffering, but seems to be getting what they want, and then them complaining about the hardships that they went through or like had to overcome. And I'm just not buying it because it's for people to be relate to, but who is relating to this with the same outcome that she had? Is like, I think she's trying to be like, look, I went through all of this and then I persevered, but
it's not working. What did you persevere? The last 2 or 3 or 5 lawsuits where you stole someone's logo, you stole their money, you have to pay fines, all of it. I mean, we still haven't even gotten to the $216,000 she took from her friends, hers and Joe's friends. I think Jen and I don't know, I have the court documents. People send me stuff. You've been around me. I don't look online. I can't look for this shit. I
want to check it out.
I don't have to. I mean, people will send it to me, but I'm just saying what was on there was very disturbing, that she didn't even make contact with them to say that she was sorry or nothing. Didn't work out a payment plan. And now it's been 5 years. And so, all these things are pretty relevant. It's like Erica Jane. She's living in an apartment now, folks. So you guys think she was some queen and honorable? No. And Jen, too. I don't even know Jen. I just know.
That's a scary situation.
Yeah, I mean, I did that interview today with, I interviewed Ron Richards. Amazing. This attorney.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Like he's in Washington right now. Like he's a specialist or something on this. We got to know each other a little bit better, and he was very flattering towards me. He said the conversation was great, and he was happy that it was me on the other end when they said housewives. They didn't he didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad to be a happy surprise. But
That's gonna be cool.
what's disturbing is that he's pointing out things to me about people that I've been working with, and here I was just trying to hold on to the things that I already had accumulated and had in my life for real. I didn't take them from
Mm,
anybody to get there. And then to
yeah,
just callously dismiss me for something that, what did they have to dig 30 years or so in my past instead of scratching the surface and letting Bravo expose them for who they were and let me hang on to the stuff I already have.
yeah.
But
They definitely threw you under the bus.
he said people will try to keep up their image. And now, Erica's, and I want to ruin the whole episode. You have to go onto my podcast, Danielle Staub. Absolutely. Podcast and subscribe because I got a lot of good guests coming up. But that's going to drop on Monday, this episode. But he's saying like they want that camera on them so badly they'll do anything.
Yeah,
Um, and I said, yeah, well, much to the irony is it's not lost on me with my own franchise. And I felt like Teresa was so long ago that people are forgetting. She committed crimes against all of us, like 42 counts of fraud. All of us paid for that. Where is it getting compensated? And to know that she just got to walk out and skirt away. Everyone else is losing their homes. She
right.
should have hers too. And I'm not saying that to be vicious. I'm just saying it should have been her rather than me, the home that I built to live with my children. I
It's
had to be
interesting how things like that happen.
here for, my kids. I wanted them to feel safe, and they didn't
Yeah,
feel safe. There's a
but
lot I don't know, but I think that it's interesting that, perception, if it was wrong about me, then you gotta admit, guys, you might be wrong about them too, because they're not all that.
for
Like
sure,
it's scary how much somebody will do just to have that camera in their face, what they will
it's
sacrifice.
it's true. And I mean, they're not the only ones that love the camera and the attention. So I think it's funny that the show is called The Real Housewives. Yet the person bringing most of the confrontation and drama this episode was Joe Gorga. He was the one acting like the top housewife this episode. At that party, I felt really okay. I
He
think
has
that
no,
men and women should not.
first of all, to be talking that way about your sister, no love loss on either one of them, but you know I'm not as surprised as everyone else should be, because I haven't forgotten how he got on that show, which was me, and I haven't forgotten his very first episode at his very own baby's christening. And he's using profanities in front of not just his parents and his children and wife, but everybody, including the in-laws and Melissa's family. And then there was the bull rush fight. The two Joes charged each other. Well, Joey Gorga charged Joe.
I've
Um,
seen that clip
yeah,
at
I
like
mean,
a christening or something like that, right?
it was his son's christening. That was their first episode. And I got to tell you, if that wasn't enough proof that these guys will sacrifice anything to be on TV, why would you do that to your family? Why? So anyone that wants to have a problem with me saying these things, just realize where this is coming from. These are all things that have been done to me by people that didn't even know me, but they took from my life and they haven't replenished it. And it shouldn't be surprising to you that I'm saying this, because you've watched him take from his own sister. He
There,
doesn't care.
Joe
What kind of
Gorga,
restaurant they built for their dad? You guys go through the history. You'll figure it out.
yeah.
The next thing, somebody was saying they want to know about Dolores and who was the other person? You want me somebody asked about Dolores Catania. So when you come back on, just let us know.
So,
Okay.
I mean, Joe was calling Dolores out, and basically everyone at this party they're not friends with each other. Let's get that very clear, because your friends don't talk about you at the same party that you're at. That's first of
And
all.
they talk behind your back with a
At
group
all.
of people.
And how do they talk behind their back simultaneously in their face, which is so funny? They're at the party with them, but they're talking shit about Dolores.
I'm sorry. Somebody just said, they don't even speak to Kathy. So they have Joey and Teresa.
Kathy is a cousin, right?
Yeah, they have one. Their Teresa's dad had one sister, so they only had one, cousins, one group of cousins.
Okay.
Here I know of anyway. So that would be with Kathy and Rosie, and so they don't speak. Like she cut them out of her life, so they wouldn't be able to come back on the show. And you don't. I'm sorry. I'm the adopted girl over here, wishing I had a family. And if I had a family, I know things would have gone a lot differently in my life and it would have been protected. And here's a family just willing to tear each other apart just so they can be on TV. And then they don't even speak or have a great relationship aside. They really don't. So now you're not talking to your cousins either. And what did she say? I think her line was, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Teresa said to Kathy, and Rosie, I'm going to cut you out of my life like cancer. And
the main drama between them
for that. How dare you make a reference like that to cancer, even if you're pissed? Fuck, spoiled little bitch.
Kathy and Rosie just didn't want to be a part of the show, and that's why she got in a fight with them.
Be a part of the show, but they were also, family. And Teresa wanted to remove, she never wanted Joey on there. And she never wanted Melissa on there. They filmed the first 2 seasons with us, but they were in the background. You could never see them. Teresa wouldn't put them near the camera. And my instructions were not to speak to them when they were on camera. And I'm like, listen, you don't got
That's so weird.
You don't talk no more. Don't tell me what to do. I'll talk to whoever I goddamn feel like it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's really weird, the whole situation, because they're all talking about how Dolores got a Porsche. Was it a Porsche? I'm assuming it was a Porsche. I think that's what it was. Over a ring. But she said so many times in that episode, and she said it before, that she's happy and she doesn't care that she doesn't live in the same house as David, or now she doesn't care that she hasn't gotten the ring. So how do you feel? Like, do you feel like it was their place to be saying all these things? Do you feel like, because I know previously Dolores had said that she wouldn't move into the house unless she got a ring, but now she's talking about how she's not bothered that she has a ring and that she's happy. So I'm kind of like stuck, and I want your opinion. Okay. Do you think it was wrong for them to bring up to Dolores that she hadn't gotten her ring, therefore, he's stalling and he got her car? Or do you think that they weren't wrong about it because that is what she mentioned at the beginning, that's what was holding her back from moving in with him?
Okay, so...
Do you think she brought this upon herself?
I think David is a gentleman. I think he's a scholar, and I know for a fact, because I have some very close friends and neighbors that are patients of his. He's very good at what he does. And, it was odd, like, for them to tell me, I'm going and he's delivering my baby. And it was like, during the reunion time. And I was like, listen, he's a good doctor. What do I care? This isn't the show. Like, you're my friend. I would want you to have the best doctor. If he wasn't the best and you were just doing it to get attention, that's different. He's your doctor. And I don't have anything against him at all. I think he's about the most honest one on there. He loves those kids. I believe he truly loves Dolores. I don't believe he wants to get married. And I don't believe for a moment that she can't do something about that if she really wanted to. What's she going to do with Frank that gave up everything and got disbarred to support her endeavors in being on a television show?
Fair enough. I mean, I definitely agree. She's not helpless. But I just, do you feel like it was appropriate?
She had 2 men giving her everything along her way. Lucky her. But God forbid I asked for the same thing. And I've lived that way. It's not like it's something new for me, but oh my God, it's almost like, oh my God, I don't deserve any of that. Yeah, I do. I raised my kids alone. I deserve it more than anybody or any other time in my life. I've done all the work. I'm not even responsible.
Do you feel like they were trying to stir up shit at the party, or do you think that they were just trying to be good friends?
No, they were stirring up shit because they were out of shit to say, and they had to go for somebody else. And Teresa, the unpacking of that is, Teresa's like, no more for me. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. because she didn't want any more of it publicized, and she definitely didn't want anything to do with that other guy, you know. So
Yeah, what was that? Even I could have told Michelle that was not going to be a thing. I
you
shouldn't
know
say
what I
that,
think?
but
Here's what I think. I think they'll do whatever they can right now to try to, you know, fill the season. And I think that's why it's short, because there's nowhere else to go with it. Like,
yeah.
after the first episode, I unpacked the fuck out of it, and it was pretty much over then, you know? Like, I'm not wrong on it.
Yeah. I feel like week after week, we're able to dive in deeper because they're just repeating a lot of the same stuff. So we're like,
Hate everything, honey. And
it's
that's
like
what
in
that's
patterns.
most difficult for me. I'm like, there is no newness to any of this. It's just the same shit you girls are fighting about, and you might give it a different label.
Yeah,
And
they just repackage it.
never go to lunch with the intentions of hurting somebody. I would never go to a party with the intentions of make it into a shit show and see who we can chase out of there first. They're bullies, and they're big time mean girls. All of them. Because if you're going to tolerate it and forgive them, Jackie, I'm talking to you now, you got to remember, now you are just saying it's okay. You opened the door. They can do whatever they want to you now. And I won't feel sorry for you next time.
You
So
know,
just asked if they can do a Q&A.
sure.
Yeah, just send over a question. And then we can set up a Q&A as well in a private room. So, you know, you'd have to come in on reservation, but we would need to know in advance. Like, that's why I wouldn't do it live for everybody. Because if you ask me something off, then, you know, it would make it on there and it wouldn't make sense. It's not good for me. It's not going on my shows. I'm just going to tell you that.
I feel like even though time has passed, this is going to be weird, but I still feel like Jackie and Jennifer are almost still not real cast members. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I feel like they haven't assimilated into their roles as housewives. I feel like they're still stuck in this, like, I need to impress the other girls that have already been on the show to be part of the clique officially. Like, they look like pick me girls a little bit, these two ladies.
They definitely are. And it's funny because I see what you mean. So if you're not going to value yourself enough to say, no, that's a fucking enough. There's one of my lines for everybody that's been waiting. When you came after her marriage, I would have said, I would have guessed at least Jackie would have taken a moment and gone, you know what? I think I got to get out of here. I've seen what everybody else has left the show with after they're attacked, and it's going to keep happening over and over and over again.
But she's
I'm
smart.
sorry, I was standing far too close to Evan last night in that scene when she walked back in to bitch out Joey. She took a comfortable spot there. People have been asking me to watch that, and I see, you know.
And other people have alluded to her saying how handsome.
Married Teresa flirting with Evan last year would have been a little bit dismissed. Everybody dismissed it. Nobody thought much of it. But my God, you make a remark about a married man when you're single. Girl, Teresa, you need to learn how to be a single lady, because this shit is gonna fly, and nobody thinks it's cute that you can't form a sentence. You're not married to your husband no more. He's not there to defend you or your actions, and you got lucky that he's still in your life. But here's the thing, you're on your own, kiddo. You better smarten it up a little bit and clean up your act, because you can't be talking about other women's men, especially in this cast of characters.
Well, to me also, I feel like Jackie is a smart woman who's quick. Like, she has the quick remarks, but she's her comebacks. But she has not chosen, to me, to hit the gas like full throttle. Like, to me, I still feel like even with her good comebacks and stuff, she's still like very careful. And I feel like I'm just waiting for her to just go be a bad bitch. Like, you know what to say to these girls, but she's not running them like I feel like she should.
Right. So somebody just said, you know, when Jackie even said goodbye, like, to Teresa, it was like, okay, baby. Like,
she loves her.
What the hell? Because she thinks Teresa will keep her on that show. No, honey. Take it from the girl that was never fired. You keep yourself on the show. You should have turned that around and said, you know what? Hell fucking no, Teresa. Don't ever fucking talk to me again like that. And no, I don't want to come to your fucking party.
Right.
Be real,
Right.
man. Would you guys rather have her be real and stand up for herself and her marriage? I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's wild. It's so weird. It's yeah.
Someone just said Teresa's boyfriend's using her. Well, I hope she gets a taste of that medicine. I would never say that about a person that I didn't know, but after what Teresa's done to me and my relationships, listen, Marty and I weren't going to make it anyway. Once I discovered that he knew how to tweet defamatory comments about his wife,
Oh no.
I knew then it was over. But
He apparently has a criminal background too, Teresa's man. Violent criminal record.
let's hear what it is. What is it?
I'm gonna Google it right now. I know it has something to do with assault.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's see here.
Well, his ex claims, and she's a therapist, that he is a narcissist, and it has a tendency to really eat somebody away. It's like Joey defending the fact that he likes women. After you got your butt made out with on a golf course by your friend, and it was a slow makeout too. I just think
I don't know why it had to be full on. There was a lot of contact.
Well, honey?
There was a lot of contact from ass to lips.
It's unnecessary, and I wouldn't want to be around people like that. I think it's disgusting.
So he was charged, this Lewis man was charged with simple assault following a road rage incident in Allendale, New Jersey. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's where my kids went to school, private school. Wow.
Yeah, apparently some guy tried to pass him, and he tried to pass somebody, and they gave him the finger, and then upon reaching the stop sign, he pulled out the guy from the other vehicle. He pulled in front of the guy's vehicle, charged the driver's door. They got into a verbal argument, and then when the guy attempted to roll up his window, Lewis stuck his hand and struck the other guy on the head, knocking his sunglasses off his head. So this is, someone who is very patient and knows how to work through their issues.
Sounds like she's got exactly what she deserves. And now, no brother, daddy, mommy, nobody around to protect you. Now you really are turning into the person that you made fun of me being. You're alone. Yeah, now you are alone. And you still have Joey, but I wouldn't trust him. He's going after you on a television show just to stay relevant. Made your dad cry when you opened up a restaurant, knowing full well that it wasn't his restaurant. Like it was just fake for a storyline. When in the world will they ever be real? Listen up, guys. When you start filming again, you really do have to start keeping it real. Like I know they watch, I know they tune in, whatever, but my message remains the same. You're a bunch of fake bitches that are getting called out. I'm finally speaking up. I guess they really hoped that they had threatened me enough and damaged me enough that I would stay quiet, but I'm not gonna.
They're fake because they're boring.
They're so boring. I never realized, because I'm watching for the first time. Here and there, I'd watch a little bit, but I couldn't stomach it. I'd hire someone to write my blogs. I didn't want anything to do with it. It's I couldn't stomach taking that time to watch it. And last night, all of you that tuned in, you heard me say it quite a few times. I'm like, oh my God, is this over yet? Like, I feel like this is, it's stupid television.
The fact of the matter is that people love it because it's these strong, independent women, and usually they don't take shit from each other. And I think what this...
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what's lacking in this season. It's that the drama, we're like being edged almost. Like we're not getting to a climax. Like we keep they're building, and then
they
nothing.
Don't want to do it to each other, but now they realize none of them are strong enough to take what they were dishing out to me.
Apparently, because they can't seem to hold their ground. I mean, it's very mature and I guess very nice of them to forgive so easily and all that, but people are here to watch a television show. So
someone just asked me, why do I watch? I don't know where you've been living or whether you've not been tuning in the past, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, but I literally sat down and started watching live just to see if anyone wanted to hear my opinion on it. And it stopped. 276,000 people tuned in that night. That's why whoever asked me that silly question.
But also, you never
I
had been on this side of it.
and I have a lot to unpack here. And then the day after show was just me wanting to say, you know what, Andy Cohen, you can keep your after show. I know when the smoke clears is the next day and everybody is like in shock. And that's when you need to be explaining it.
Not to hate on Andy Cohen or anything, but I feel like they talk about things on their show that we've already covered in other episodes. So that's what's always funny to me.
I've heard a lot of my words repeated as well. I've seen some clips that have been sent to me. It's funny, I can't turn it off fast enough because, you know, he pops right up with his characters and his little minions. But yeah, I'm unimpressed and unmoved. I used to think he was quite something to come from, you know, assisting, you know, to get coffee. They call it an AD, but it's a glorified name. You know, at CBS, it was Andy Cohen was running to get coffee for people on the early morning shows.
Yeah, but I'm very curious as to how he even got an assisting job in the first place. I
think when you just make your way up the chain. I mean, that's the way you went at it.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like he definitely had an inside, like, connect.
Probably. It's not that difficult to get in doing that, though. You don't get paid.
Yeah.
Do those 4 a.m. call times, you know, because
Sure.
All times on press days. I would be doing press all the way until the late evening. On the Hannity show would be the last stop, and that was at 11 p.m. So, you know, I believe truly that he really wanted to be a part of this business. And I think he had a vision and he had a plan and he saw it through. But where he went wrong is he wasn't paying attention to it like it was his baby. He was too busy grabbing all the stars and the fame and all the credit. And he forgot to take care of his baby. The baby can't grow if you're going to stunt its growth and then add more children to the group. You know, eventually it's just going to all fall down.
Yeah.
He'll come crumbling down soon. I mean, the fact that he's already moved over to E, which is another NBC Universal network. It's within the NB Uni umbrella. It's under the umbrella. So just tells me like there's no budget left at Bravo.
Interesting.
Or
I definitely need to.
The women fired the cast are probably pulling up a lawsuit or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I definitely need to do a little bit more research because Andy Cohen does have this platform and he's a gay man. And I don't know. I feel like he could do more with it than just want to be on TV hosting reunions.
Like, let me just ask you something. And I want to hear from people. I want to hear what your thoughts are because the reason I loved the platform so much was I got to go do charity work. At one point, my publicist says, if you don't stop all the charity work like every single night and not go to an event like to mingle, you're going to become a charity, Danielle. And I was like, I don't care. I love it. These people are so happy to see me and get my help. And I want to be there. I want to be like ground zero. And I want to be doing everything I can do to make anybody smile or feel better. And if that means by me just being there, as me, I mean, what an honor. So I think that Andy could be doing some charitable work. I really do. And I don't see him pushing that as a part of this franchise to be connected to anything. There were so many times I asked him to do something for RA, if I could like, you know, film a march and make it a part of, you know, my story. And it was never approved because they're like, no, it's too dark. Nobody wants to know that. I'm like, but it's a part of me. I see you're just going to make me look like I'm inhumane. And there's only one way for me. And that's drama. But that's not true. I challenge anybody to stand in my shoes and take so many hits to your character and, you know, to your life when I was literally the only one that had a grandeur life prior to doing the show and while I was doing the show, and I was raising my daughters alone and I wasn't afraid of it. I just thought maybe I'd collect a few more girlfriends that I'd fight with and then make up with, but it wasn't going to be a big deal. I had never fought like that with people. Never had people come at me and gang up on me since I was in, I don't know, high school. But let's face it, parochial school back in the days, I was kicking ass. I didn't care. I was angry about what my father had done, so I used that anger a lot.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but, only to defend myself, and then it was done. So I have to say, like, I just feel like if Andy could have done anything differently, it would have been that. Be charitable. Do foundations. Like, instead of going on live Facebook every Sunday for 2-3 hours, why don't you go for a march? Why don't you collect all the people in the Hamptons and march for any cause other than just Andy Cohen's cause? So
Yeah.
if you're going to be a big star, you have to know how to be one. And part of that is being a human being and having a moral compass.
Yeah, there's not a lot of layers to these people. They're very one-dimensional. Actually, what they're presenting to the world is very one-dimensional, and that goes for Andy and the cast of the house.
For you as a gay man to see Joey Gorga, like what he behaved like last night with the intentions of it, then having to explain that it wasn't a sexual moment. I'm into women. Like, that to me was a big insult. He was like, gay men, I know gay men since I was like a baby, and I gotta tell you, I've never once seen anything close to that kind of misconduct, even in the bars and the pubs when I was a kid and a teenager, and on Rush,
Yeah,
like,
that to me,
never anything like this.
That to me was what made it the most funny, is like, you didn't need to clarify that you weren't gay or that you liked women, because gay people don't do that shit. I don't kiss my friends' asses.
And who's this Patty? Somebody said I used Marty. I hope that's not what I'm reading. No, Marty used me, Sweet Pea. I paid for that house. I have equity in that house. And I also put a deposit on the house. And he knew what he was doing. He stole all my furniture, which was in my original home in Wayne. And I'm not going to get too carried away on this, but you better change your perception or start reading, motherfucker, or get off my page.
I think it's just done. So funny how people are like,
to give him credit for anything when he put me out without my money, my furniture, while I had a nervous breakdown. And he was part of the reason I did.
There's just so much
support irony. A man like that, please leave my page. Especially a name like Patty. I pray for you. I pray for you if you're a woman walking around out there.
Listen, I think it's so ironic how there's people on here that are like, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? And then there's the other people that try to tell you things about people that you know. Like, I think it's funny that this Patty girl was like, oh, you were using Marty. Oh, yeah, really? Did you know Marty? Did you meet Marty?
Okay, Marty's sister. Yeah, because everybody feels like. Somebody mentioned something about the hair pull. Exactly. Marty who?
Yeah.
He's in a lineup of them. But I literally I just lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I gonna say?
I mean, it was Joe. We were talking about the ass kissing and how it was kind of like
so taken back by that. I'm still disgusted by it, but that wasn't it. It was something else, and it was going to be truly relevant, I think.
The funny thing is, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm sorry to go back on that. It was Joe who got his butt kissed by Frank.
Yep.
And
then said, "I like women." I'm into women.
Wait, but he was the one that wanted his butt kissed by this man.
He pulled his pants down. Nobody asked him to, and then Frank walked right up to it.
That's crazy.
I mean, these guys are not supposed to be filming an entire season. We're the only state and only cast that has to rely on the entire family so that the ladies don't have to have their own storyline discussed. So they just rather tear their parents' marriages apart or bury their parents and make their kids read uncomfortable letters or talk about sex in front of the cameras. Why would you talk to your children this way, and why are you damaging them so much? Never judge me, ever. Anyone that agrees with their behavior, you need to know where to stick it right now, because I'm basically the best example of a mom on that entire show. And the Jersey end. I can't speak for the other ones. I do have an affinity for my Dallas girls, but on this end, no. Teresa would never even buckle her kids up in their car seats. They were running through her Escalade. The one time I dared to drive with her, and she didn't have car insurance because she said it was a waste of money. Meanwhile,
I'm just very curious, like, if the men weren't part of the show, what would happen? But they wouldn't have a show. They wouldn't even have a show. First, the Evan drama. Okay, if Evan wasn't part of the show and the husbands, they would have had nothing to talk about. Now the Teresa boyfriend, if Joe Benino, whatever his name is, didn't tell Margaret, then there wouldn't be drama.
Sorry, somebody just brought it up again. Do I think it was right when Ashley pulled my hair and then I pulled Margaret's? Big difference. Somebody said, oh, you pulled Margaret's much harder. Now, you would know that how? How would you know? I'm just asking because people seem to think they know how I felt and how it was and what it looked like and what it ended up like. Remember, guys, we shoot for 5-6 hours. You don't see everything. You see 5 minutes of it. You see the 5 minutes that they choose to show you. So I don't need to go through this every darn time because obviously you're just trolling my page looking for problem, or you would have worded it differently. So here's your problem. You found it. Careful what you look for. You're going to find it.
I mean, and if we're
I didn't even thought to pull Margaret's hair. And what I processed after Teresa told me to do it. Yeah, I took responsibility for it. And I got to tell you, when I turned that corner, I was no longer Danielle. When I did this, I just can't help myself. That wasn't me.
Queen.
That was a part of me that didn't react to her throwing wine in my face, pouring water over my head, coming into my home and scouting out what she was going to steal from me, getting in between my marriage, treating me like I was a piece of shit, regurgitating my past of being raped by calling me that name over and over and over again. Should I stop there or should I continue?
Well,
so,
also,
no, I don't regret it. I don't think I pulled it hard enough or long enough or far enough, but I drugged that bitch and I don't have any regret. Got any more questions? Ashley, on the other hand, needed a camera moment. So she took a woman my age with RA and herniated discs in my neck. And yeah, she pulled my hair and you didn't see all of it. So I'm not going to explain it because by now I'm getting tired.
That's number one. They didn't even show it correctly.
Nope.
And number two, you didn't have an issue at that moment with Ashley. You were literally arguing with the other ladies and you left, and then Ashley out of nowhere.
And I was shaking because I literally had been chased through the country club by not just Teresa and Jacqueline. You know, I had I had the Kims chasing me. You know, guys, I challenge you to do it any fucking better. Ask me questions, you're going to get your answer, you're not going to like it because I'm always honest and I can repeat the same thing 20 years from now because it's the truth. If you weren't there, you don't know what it felt like.
For sure. And the difference to me is Ashley pulled your hair and she wasn't even involved in an argument with you. And you and Margaret were directly in an argument together. That's the difference.
Margaret was in my face so much that when I stood up off of leaning on the couch, I was in her face. I had to sit my ass down in order to get her to remove herself from my face. Her breath was kicking. Trust me. I only have honest things to say. If she hadn't been so close to me when I stood up, wouldn't have been as much of a problem. But she carried on like a banshee and she treated me like I was just not even worthy of consideration. She completely assassinated my character, my dignity, my life, and she made a joke of it. For what?
Yeah.
For
well,
fame.
There's also certain things that people do when they're like in these like type of altercations to make other people feel less than or ashamed. One of them, like when you get slapped in the face, it's disrespectful.
Walks in with $10,000 of Versace and Louboutin on, and I'm wearing it like it was made for me. Yeah, if you're not going to have a problem with that, you should just be embracing me. She's a jealous bitch. I don't think I look more fabulous or worse than anybody, but I'll tell you what, I have a lot of confidence and that reads well. And sometimes people are threatened by my confidence.
Yeah,
that is not my problem. That's your problem to work through. You don't get to put your hands on me and expect me not to retaliate.
Well, also, I'm sure it was very embarrassing and triggering to have somebody throw water at you. Like, that's like I feel like that's next to getting slapped in the face.
One of many times. Let's not forget what she did at my wedding.
So how were you? I would have blacked out too.
Right, losing her shit. Margaret Josephs. She needed it to be all about her.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
They're all just a bunch of, like, they're not even cartoon characters. Cartoon characters I actually have a great affinity for.
They're literally caricatures of human beings. They're not even real human beings.
All those drawings of the bobbleheads that you guys do. Yeah.
Oh my God, I could totally see Margaret's caricature too. That's so messed up.
Oh, with the boobs hanging out, you can't see anything else.
The new mouth. Oh, that's so mean. I'm not supposed to be talking bad about these ladies.
You're not, I am. Because, you know, they did this to me and everybody thought, I mean, the people that love me and support me, I'm not speaking of you, but when I'm standing there alone and everybody's coming for me and then I have to read even one thing in the press with a headline that I hurt her, but she was able to keep going for me over and over and over again. Yeah, everybody hits their wall. Yeah. I was happy about, you know, the ending of that. I'm glad I got to show her, you know, maybe a little, but I'm scrappy, bitch. Don't push me too far. I can't take responsibility for that other part of me.
I definitely try not to advocate violence, but I mean, I can see how the situation escalated. So
yeah. And it was a 2.5 year buildup. That part Teresa was right about. For 2.5 years, she was coming for me.
Right, and I might get violent if someone throws water at me too. So.
And it's on camera. There's a lot that everyone doesn't see.
Right.
Off camera as well. But we have overstayed. This is the longest episode in history. Was there anything else we needed to unpack about this? I think we're missing something. Oh, Dolores, when she took off, I do believe that there's probably someone out there for her. I'm not certain, you know, David and she might fall under that title of he's just not that into you in that way. Or he would have already planned the wedding day. And if he asked her to marry him now, I mean, really, what is it? I don't know. I think too many people pressuring a man to do something that he would have already done if he was going to do it. How long are they together now?
I don't know, but I agree with you. At this point, if they do get engaged,
like as a part-time job when I was a kid, just to get back at my dad for what he had done to me, until I realized I was hurting real human beings, and then I felt like shit about it. But she's like going about it the wrong way. She's definitely got the quality man, and her picker's good.
Yeah.
But I think if he was going to marry her, he would.
I think her mistake was oversharing her conditions on how she would stay in the relationship and all that. I think if she would have never said, I won't move into the house until I have a ring, then maybe they would still have...
I have no fillers, honey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, maybe they just would have a healthier relationship. Maybe they just would be doing what they're doing. They just have too many people involved now.
For storyline. Dolores is now only worried about the storyline. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody's already jockeying for their position for this season, and they won't know if they're confirmed to be coming back until after the reunion airs. So
someone said ultimatums are never a good way to start a marriage.
Oh, hell no. If he voluntarily give you that ring, you don't want it. You don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, I know my value. And although it's been really difficult to, you know, pick somebody or be with somebody, yada, 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 Marty was proof that, you know, I have a bad picker. I don't know. Maybe there was things that I should have learned from my father that I never got a chance to. But here's the thing. I got friends now, real friends that I didn't bring on the show to destroy those relationships, because I value you guys. I value anyone that I've kept close to me. And, you know, it's sad that I was the only one really seeing it and saying and not saying anything. And now I'm able to speak my truth. But I hope and pray that these episodes are helping all of you to see more clearly how frustrating it's been for me. And now I don't feel so much alone. Also, yeah. I have you here, Yvette, you know, helping out. And I think that I think it's just really, it's coming to a place where we can move this in any direction we want to after this. Sure. And I'm sure many of these other ladies would have that option.
Right.
I mean, literally, could you listen to Teresa for an hour and a half? You guys have been on here for so I love you guys. But I hope that you enjoyed this unpacking. Please let us know if there's anything that you request. Before we go, we have a hot seat to fill. I think my clear choice is Joey Gorga for just being a big mouth about your sister, and then literally put your pants on before you sit in the hot seat, because it's going to be shared by other people. Go ahead. Who's in the hot seat for you?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say Joey Gorga, and I might stick to that. Mostly because I didn't like how he was talking about Dolores' situation, or the whole, or I'm sorry, or whatever was happening at the party when he got involved at the end of it. I don't think men should get involved in women's situations like that. Isn't that ironic as I sit here talking about all these women's situations? Whatever. But
it is, but it isn't, because you're having a discussion on a panel with me. That's what you're here for. It's not like you're trying to create drama to be relevant. My cheeks don't have fillers, sweet pea. I have never had fillers put. I hated them. I had fillers put on my lips one time in season 1, and maybe one time after that, and I hated it. I like to feel my face. I actually tell the doctors, don't touch my face with fillers ever. I just have really good skin, really good genetics. So you can go join Caroline and Margaret.
That is the weirdest spam fake account I've ever seen in my life.
What?
There's this one that keeps like typing like in all caps like bad things, but like ironically, like that one that just popped up. They're very committed.
Oh, are they saying nasty things?
They are, but not. It's mostly the profile picture and the name that's getting me. But
yeah,
very interesting.
By those things, this is one I'm glad I can barely see. Although my block has cleared up my site a little bit. That's a good thing. I think, people feel entitled to take their shots at me. Well, if you're going to take your shots at me, you better get educated on me first, because I don't sit by quietly and turn the other cheek. I'm going to hit back, baby. So just so you know that in advance. And plus, this is my page.
That's why you're a queen.
That's right, baby. And you know why? I remain in that title because I will always adjust your crown too.
Yes, love that.
We're all queens, all of us.
Love it. Love it.
You gotta be dignified toward one another. So listen, guys, I want all of you to know how much we appreciate you tuning in and staying with me while I was long-winded. I even said before I got on here, I'm like, I'm gonna make it short tonight. I got this. Jillian's like nodding her head, sure, Mom. So this was me not being short. I love all of you so much. Be sure to tune in Monday on my podcast. Subscribe so you can vibe all of it. There's tons of episodes on there. It's a multi-genre platform, so there's something for everyone, literally something for everyone. And there's still some housewife stuff on there too, and lots of tea being spilled. But always join us here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we go live, Yvette and I, for the day after show, and I will unpack as your in-house OG. I've been to the front lines and I'm still here standing strong. So I'm going to unpack with my knowledge of what's really happening behind the scenes. All of you have been so incredible on my viewing parties. Thank you so much for watching along with me and keeping me company. And if you'd like to do me a huge solid, please go check out my daughter Jillian's baking TikTok page and her baking page. If you like her and follow her and you let me know, I promise to say something out loud to you online just to thank you, because I really want to support my daughter and her baking page, and she's really talented. So there's my shout out moment.
Jillian is the best baker I know. That is no cap, no lie. I have never had better cake than Jillian Staub's cake.
She's a wellness cooker, so it's without dairy, and she can even bake without gluten too. I just do a lot more versatility with my cooking, but she's so gifted and she's self-taught, and I couldn't be prouder.
She's the best. Cutie pie.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Before we go, give yourself a big hug. Love you, Yvette.
Love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, baby doll. Bye everyone. Mwah, mwah, mwah.